brand new video, and we are coming back with the series that I started. And we're continuing on with my top 10 movies of the 2000s. Yes, someone actually asked a couple of weeks ago if I was going to bring this series back and continue on with it. And I am, so I have enough time this week to do it. But I'm looking forward to doing the rest of the 2000s, because I will admit we're now into 2004, so we're almost halfway through the 2000s. And I never realised how many of my favourite films come from 2004. Like, I look at my pile and I just think, yep, I love that one, I love that one, I love that one, I love that one. So I didn't think that 2004 was going to be a big year. I don't know why. I thought maybe it was going to be like maybe 2005, 6, maybe somewhere that far end of the 2000s. But 2004 surprised me. And of course I have different formats here, which is lovely. But there's actually only one film I don't physically own, which I'm quite surprised about because I keep eyeing it up in HMV and then never pick it up. So I need to get a better handle on that. But funnily enough, that is my number 10 movie. These are ranked in order, just for the simple fact of when it comes to the top 10 lists, like I did of the 1990s, the year I was born, to which if you have not watched that series, go and check that out. So like I said, I do put these in order of my least favourite. Like, I do still really enjoy it, but it's like not my top favourite to my absolute favourite of the year. So you might find might be a couple of odd pieces in here that you probably wouldn't have put on your list, but I've put it on mine, and everyone is allowed to their own decisions. So, choices, allowed to their own choices. So let's get into my top 10 movies of 2004. So starting at number 10 is Mean Girls. Yes. This is one that actually grew on me. When I first watched it, I found it to be okay. But over the years, as I've rewatched it, I have fallen more in love with it. It is your typical high school teenage movie, you know, all about the popular girls and trying to be popular. And I don't know why, but just at the time, maybe because I wasn't massively girly growing up. So maybe that's why I didn't fully get into it. I don't know. Or maybe it was just something that didn't really tickle my fancy. Because, I mean, when I think of movies, I tend not to lean towards the girly stuff too much. Over the recent years, I have a little bit more. But I look back to the movies that I used to watch as a kid, and not many of them were that sort of like girly-ish, if you catch my drift. It's weird to explain. But I enjoy Mean Girls now. That's why it's in my top 10 list for the 2004, because I feel like it's such an iconic movie for both teenage girls and adults. So many quotable lines from it now. I think I did an original versus remake for the Mean Girls movie going up against the musical version movie that we got last year, I think. I can't remember if I did. And we're now going to get into it. So at my number 9 spot is one, I don't know how, let me know if you've seen this. I think a lot of people have, but I don't think it gets talked about much these days. Without a Paddle. So yeah, Without a Paddle is my number 9 spot. I don't know why. I think I watched this on TV. I think it was over my nan's one night. It popped up. And I just found myself laughing and enjoying this movie. It's got Seth Green, Matthew Lillard, Dax Shepard, to which, if they were to do a proper sequel to this, because I know there's a Without a Paddle 2, but it's not with these guys, and I've heard it's not very good. So I will eventually probably get around to watching it, due to my whole completionist thing. It's just the way I am. But for this one, it's a bit of an odd movie, but it's fun. It's kind of The Hangover in a sense, where it's just, you got these group of guys going on a trip. Obviously, these guys don't get hungover, but there's hijinks that ensues. And you know what? It's absolutely hilarious. I think these three together were good. They were perfect. There's a scene, it's actually right here. There's a scene with a bear, and it is absolutely hilarious. Even that scene there near the end of the movie, hilarious. There are so many funny moments in this. So let me know, if you have seen Without a Paddle, did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? I feel like this is a movie that needs to be talked about more. Whether that's just my own opinion, who knows? But yeah, Without a Paddle is at my number 9 spot. Just the simple fact of there are 8 other movies that, as much as I enjoy this one and I do go back to, I don't go back to as often as I do these ones. So yeah, number 9, Without a Paddle. At number 8 is a Jim Carrey film. There were 2 Jim Carrey films that come out this year. I did struggle to pick which one I wanted to put on the list, and I eventually went with this one, just because it's one of his most serious roles, and I feel like after The Truman Show, this is his second best one, and that is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. This is such a unique film. It's about, basically, he wants to erase her from his memory because she's erased him. And we're just going through all the memories that he had with her. Such a serious film from Jim Carrey. And this is, like, I love Jim Carrey comedy, but his serious films hit you every single time. Every one of his serious films I have watched, I have enjoyed for different reasons. And this one just hit me emotionally. Just the thought of being able to erase someone from your memory, that's such a scary thought. But seeing him go through it, and obviously we've got Kate Winslet in this, Kirsten Dunst, Mark Ruffalo, Elijah Wood. There were so many big well-known actors in this, and just Kate and Jim did amazing. If you have not watched this film, seriously, I recommend that you do. If you don't like Jim Carrey's comedy, watch his serious stuff and watch this and The Truman Show. They're 2 of his best work. Honestly, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, just give it a watch. It is something different. It is something unique. And you seriously need to give this a watch. Okay, at number 7, just a little bit over Eternal Sunshine. But that is because this was my childhood. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, I didn't really watch until sort of like later on. I think it was like in my teens maybe. Might have been a bit into like my late teens. Something like that. But at my number 7 spot, this is a film that I grew up loving. And you know what? I know some people don't like this sequel, but I do. And that is ScoobyDoo 2 Monsters Unleashed. I have so many memories attached to this. I loved this film. I even had I think it was the PC game. There was a game on the computers, and it was sort of like you had to go round and move things in the Smithsonian and all that. I think this is a really good sequel. In fact, these are the 2 movies, both the first one and this one, of like the best live action Scooby-Doo movies we had ever gotten. And I still have the DVD copy. I'm not ever going to get rid of this. Like, I love this. And the special features were fun on this. They even had it that you could, I think it was it on this one? You can learn Scooby's dance. Yeah. Yeah, how you can do the Scooby-Doo dance. And I played that so many times. I don't know. At one point, I wanted to be a dancer, so I did watch this. But no, this is a fun sequel. It goes back to nostalgic. It's a case of they bring back monsters from the TV show. So if you grew up on the TV show, you would enjoy it. And it's just, honest to God, such a good film. Seth Green is in this as well. To which, after you watch Buffy and then you watch this, you're like, oh, okay. But no, Scooby-Doo 2... absolutely amazing sequel, a fun, good time. And you know what? I struggle at times to pick which one I prefer, whether I prefer the first one or the second one. So it is one of those that, depending on how I watch it and when I watch it, either one would be on the top. But yeah, Scooby-Doo 2, absolutely amazing sequel. Okay, at number 6, some people might be surprised that this is not higher. But my top 5 are the ones that, like I said, I have returned to the most and that I enjoy the most. So at number 6, which I'm quite sad I've put it at number 6, but cannot be helped. At number 6 is a Pixar classic, The Incredibles. There would not be a top 10 list for me if this was not on here. I had to place it somewhere on this list, and I'm glad I placed it at 6, to be honest, because at least it's near the top 5. Absolutely fun hero film. This was, I think, was this before the MCU? we had Spider-Man and all that, but this was sort of like Disney's way of trying to do it, Pixar's way of doing a superhero movie, and you know what? Brilliant. It not only is good for children, but it's good for adults. So many adult jokes in this. There's some serious moments in this. The fighting is amazing. The powers are amazing. So many funny moments. So many quotable moments. Syndrome, the villain, absolutely amazing. So if you have not watched The Incredibles, seriously, give it a watch. You will enjoy it. You'll have a good time. Incredibles 2, you might not enjoy as much, but 100% do give The Incredibles, the first one, a watch because it is iconic. Okay, and we're now into the top 5. And beating The Incredibles at number 5 is Shaun of the Dead. No way I was not going to put this on my list. Such a hilarious zombie film. I will be honest, Zombieland is still my favourite zombie movie, but this does come second. Absolutely amazing, fun, enjoyable. It's Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. It's part of the Cornetto trilogy. I still haven't watched World's End. I've watched Hot Fuzz. I just need to watch World's End, which I will do at some point. We recently just got this on 4K for its 20th anniversary. Like, seriously, 20 years. Jesus. 20 years of Shaun fighting off zombies. I love it. It's filmed very well. There's this one shot that they do twice and it's amazing. So many moments that they call back to throughout the film and it is just hilarious from start to finish. It's such a good film. If you want a good zombie film, seriously, give this one a watch. Shaun of the Dead, an absolute British comedy classic. At number 4 is another superhero movie, and it wouldn't be a list without it. Hellboy with Ron Perlman. I grew up on this film and I love it. Ron Perlman did such a good job as Hellboy. I love all the characters in this film. I think it just does an amazing job. Don't get me wrong, I liked David Harbour as Hellboy. I think they picked a remake very well in the sense of his character. But nothing will beat this one. It is so good. Ron Perlman made him iconic. And I really enjoyed Hellboy 2, actually, which means hopefully when it comes to that year, it might be in the list. We'll see what happens. But no, Hellboy. Classic superhero movie. Or is it anti-hero movie? I don't know. Probably a bit of both. Because it's not like Hellboy's like the bestest superhero in the sense. But no, if you have not watched Hellboy, give this one a watch. In fact, I'd recommend that you watch all of the top 5. At number 3, this will surprise some people as well, because I think maybe some people wouldn't have had this one, the number 2 spot on their list. But I had to put this in 3rd, just because the other 2 movies I have watched a lot more. But this one is still iconic and is one of the best sequels in this franchise and possibly my favourite. I struggle between the first one and the second one for me as to whether what is top at the time. But that is Shrek 2. I've only got the collection set here. So Shrek 2. Absolutely amazing sequel. This is one of those sequels that can be better than the original. I think it just depends on your mood and when you're watching it. So for me, Shrek 2, it's just hilarious, funny, fairy godmother, hilarious villain. I love her. Prince Charming, I could do without. He's a tad bit annoying, but I think that's just, I know that's the way his character's supposed to be, but just no. And I love what this story goes through and what the characters go through and the songs in this as well. And of course, we got the introduction of Puss in Boots. Oh, I love Puss in Boots. He's such a cute cat and I love him. He's badass. And especially in this one when it's his introduction. Hilarious. I still think Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, is the best version of Puss in Boots we've got. I loved him in the second one, but I think his standalone film in that one was just perfection. But no, it's such a good film. In fact, the whole franchise is pretty good. I think it's only the third one that's not all that great. but you still get some enjoyment out of each film. So yeah, Shrek 2 is at my number 3 spot. However, beating that out at number 2, I think some people might have this on their list, but probably quite lower down compared to me. Let me know. But my number 2 spot is White Chicks. This is hilarious. This is a comedy you couldn't get away with now, I will be honest, because a lot of things, you know, you could get away with back then. Hilarious film. I love the Wayans brothers. I think they're brilliant. They done Scary Movie, brilliant film. And then they done White Chicks. Absolutely hilarious film. 2 cops going undercover as white women. Yeah. Say no more. It's so weird, but it's so funny. And it is one of my favourite cop movies, I will admit. Probably my favourite, actually. But then in all fairness, there are cop movies that I've only watched them once, or I haven't watched them yet. So, but I think this probably will be my favourite. So many iconic lines, iconic moments, and just whenever I feel down, I know if I was to put this on, I would be happy like that. Always have a good laugh. And I find myself quoting this movie quite a bit, so tells you something when I've watched it that much. However, at my number 1 spot, nothing will probably top this. I know there's a lot of 2004 movies I still haven't watched. So like I've said before in the past, when it comes to these lists for the years that I'm doing them on, there are a lot of films I still haven't seen from that year. So who knows, maybe this could all change. But at my number 1 spot, I had to put it on here. Van Helsing. I feel like this got knocked down so much when it first came out, but I feel like it's got such a good love for it now. Vampires, werewolves. I love things like this. This is brilliant. I wouldn't even mind a sequel to this. So Hugh Jackman, if you want to do it, I'll be down for a Van Helsing too. This is such a good film. It's hilarious. The cinematography is amazing. The effects are amazing in this. Like some of the stuff that they pull off with CGI. Brilliant. Is some of it a bit of a miss? Yes. Some of the CGI doesn't look that great in certain places. But a lot of it looks so good. Even now, 20 years later, it still looks amazing. But yeah, no, Van Helsing, if you have not watched it, do give it a go. I think you'll enjoy it. I think this will surprise a lot of you. And say, if you like vampire movies and werewolf movies, this is one I'd recommend. There is a scene so well done, and it is where Hugh Jackman is dealing with Dracula. And I'm not going to say how he's dealing with him, but the way they did that scene, like at the end, it's amazing. It still gives me goosebumps every time I watch it. So, like I said, if you have not watched Van Helsing, seriously, do give it a go. If you love vampires, werewolves, Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale, seriously, do give this one a watch. And that is why it's at my number 1 of 2004. So, yes, I really hope you enjoyed this top 10 list of the 2004 movies. Obviously, the next one is 2005, which means we're then halfway through the 2000s. Once I get the 2000s out of the way, we're then going to get the 2010s done. I'm looking forward to the 2010s because a lot of the MCU films started coming out around about then. So, prepare for some MCU movies to be on these lists. But yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm not sure when the next one will be. I am trying to work a bit more on a schedule. Sometimes I try not to, sometimes I try. I'm one of those people that because my shifts are not consistent, trying to have a schedule and have things as I want them can be difficult. Like today was actually supposed to be my original versus remake for The Karate Kid. However, I haven't had a chance to watch the remake again yet. And to be honest, the remake is about 2 hours and 20 minutes. So by the time I've watched it, get the video edited and uploaded, it would be too close to work. So expect it at some point this weekend. I'm switching the schedule around a bit, but that's why I try to stick to a schedule whilst also being flexible with it. So yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm not sure when the next one will be, but keep an eye out for the next one, which is 2005. But yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then do give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button and also notification bell down below to be notified when I post. And leave me your comments and thoughts on the top 10 of 2004. What is your top 10 2004? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time.